Hi, this is Brian Forcer, and today we're doing a thorough exploration of the Serapeum at Saqqara, which is an underground complex, as you can see, rediscovered in the 19th century by archaeologists. And what's very intriguing about the Serapeum is this is where we find 25 multi-ton boxes, some of them weighing as much as 100 tons, located in a system of 2 tunnels. One of the tunnels has several niches, as you can see. There is actually one of the smaller boxes. And you can see that there are some hieroglyphics carved on. It's our assertion that the dynastic people found these massive boxes, and on, I believe, 2 or 3 of them, they carved hieroglyphics, but the original boxes had no hieroglyphics whatsoever. Here is one that was never completed. Its lid is actually in the hallway, so each one is in a different stage of completion. Some complete, this one obviously roughed out, as you can still see the tool marks on the lid. And then here's another one. You can see that the lid is on, and it would have fit quite snugly onto the box itself, but it too was never complete. Here's another one in a very rough stage. And the theory we have is that the boxes were being worked on, and then a series of cataclysmic events happened which stopped the work at the Serapeum. Here's another one with its faceted lid. You see the 2 notches on the lid, possibly used for opening and closing it. And also all of the boxes except 2 were found, actually 1 were found in their niches, but we're going to see that there was one that is in the other hallway, and it is separate from its lid. So here's an empty niche into which possibly the one in the other hallway would eventually have been put, but it never made it. And now we're walking down through the main tunnel hallway. We're going to look at some other of the boxes in their niches as we go. The lack of soot marks on the ceiling infer, once again, that there had to have been some kind of artificial light present in order to maneuver the boxes into the Serapeum, down through the hallway, and into the niches. And here is another niche that likely was made for another box, possibly that is in a different location. Now we're looking at one that is almost complete. It doesn't quite have the polished surfaces that we'll see in other boxes, but you can see the lid is on. The curious thing is that all of them, except for one, were found with the lids ajar. Now, taking into account that some of the lids weigh 30 tons, it's mysterious as to why they were found partially open like this. And here we have another one. You can see this one is complete or almost complete with a relatively highly polished surface. Unfortunately, the people who work there don't go in and clean the boxes, which would be nice, so there's a fair bit of dust on the surfaces. And then another one. Once again, you can see that the lid is ajar. Some of these boxes are granite, but other ones, this one could possibly be diorite, which is a granitic stone. The location of the quarry is most likely Aswan, which is in the farthest southernmost point of Egypt, but our geologist speculates that some of this stone, or maybe all of the stone, could have actually come from the Sinai area, which is far to the east in Egypt. And now another one of the boxes. Again, you can see that the lid is ajar, and the surface is quite polished in this case. And yet another niche. This one as well, you can see the high polish on that facet, on the lid. And yet another one. Most of them were either complete or almost complete, but as you saw, others were relatively roughed out. So the Serapeum was never completed. And here we see another one of the niches and the relatively highly polished surface with the lid ajar. Go ahead.
Brian takes pictures.
So this is the one that has the hieroglyphics. You see the mirror finish of the lid.
Oh man, look at that.
Only this one. Yeah. So here's where the side niche is indented, so the lid can rotate. But that's why you have to look at all of them, because they're all in different stages of completion.
This is the only one with hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
They were added.
And notice they're not, perfectly straight lines. They're indents that are also polished. So that could have been the way to do the final tuning, was to do this.
Even the indents are polished. So it wasn't like they polished the flat side of it.
Now this is the one that is filmed the most. You can see the very rough etching of hieroglyphics into the surface. Highly unlikely that the box and the lid were made at the same time.
This one is hieroglyphs.
Is what? Yeah, it's the only one with hieroglyphs.
Yeah, it's not solid rock. You got a big hole in there, so the surface area is diluted. It's not that good. Is the lid a hole? Or is the lid solid? Yeah, this is just that. Yeah, run up the solid enough that they need it or they lift error. We find mistakes. Sometimes we do mistakes. Like the unfinished books. Like any other field of industry, they do mistakes. Look at that. All of them looks like they are also from the same level.
I mean, to me, thinking of seeds, it's like the same. It gives me that same.
Yep, there's an unfinished box down there.
Unfinished box.
Yeah. This is where it was probably destined to go.
Yeah, there's two missing.
Yeah. So one of them's still outside, I guess. Or still in Aswan. Yeah, it's roughed out. It's hollow though.
Oh, it is hollow.
Yeah. Keep going. Or come back, please. Still have probably half an hour in here, so you can always go and explore more.
So they actually finished it in place? Is that the idea?
Yep. That's the whole thing about looking at all of them. It shows you the process.
Oh, it is.
And the lid's over here.
So this is a rough cut.
Yep. So once again, we're going to go back through the entranceway. There is the lid of one of the giant boxes. And then we're going to see the box itself, which we have seen already, but in position. So in this case, the lid and the box were separate, obviously indicating that the Serapeum was in a state of unfinishedness at the time of its discovery. So here is the massive box itself. This one weighs approximately, one would guess, 40 to 50 tons, with the lid being at least 20 tons. Hieroglyphics added during the dynastic time period. And this is quite intriguing. This is the first time we saw that. You can see this isn't simply a niche, it's a tunnel going quite far into the bedrock, and it appears that it turns to the right at the end. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to explore this aspect of the Serapeum. We're going back in March of 2020 on tour, very limited space available as of December 2019. And then on this special occasion, I was allowed to look into a side channel. There below you see the entrance to the Serapeum. I was allowed up in this area and found some rather interesting discoveries, or made some interesting discoveries here. There you see stone with mortar and cement, and then the bedrock below. And then as I go around this corner, you can see that there's an entrance which has been cemented shut. So this could be the entranceway to another aspect of the Serapeum at Saqqara. So these are some upcoming events that you may want to attend. As I said, in March of 2020, we're going to be exploring ancient Egypt. Once again, our annual trip in March. Right after that, we're going to explore Israel, focusing on megalithic aspects. Then late May, early June, it's Contact in the Desert in Indian Wells, California, where I'll be giving 2 talks. In June of 2020, our annual Inti Raymi Inca Celebration of the Sun Tour, featuring the festivities and also megalithic and Inca sites. In August of 2020, our annual Elongated Skulls of Peru and Bolivia tour. And in November, our Explore the Mysteries of Peru and Bolivia, including Nazca and Paracas extensions. And that's, thank you very much.